You know, when it comes down to Christmas, unlike movie critics who are spoiled for choice, game critics don't really have that. Sure, there's a few things like Miles Morales that are set during Christmas, but most games that are actually Christmassy, they're games made mostly for little kids. And the only other option is just be kind of stupid with it, like, oh, Silent Hill 1 has snow, that counts. That's why for this year, I'm gonna just do something different. I'm gonna focus on a nostalgic classic I got for Christmas in the past. The game of choice was Disney Universe. I'm also going to have a few teasers for upcoming videos in 2026, so watch closely. To find out if Disney Universe is still good to me in the year 2025, we have to dive deep into the controller and play Disney Universe. Disney Universe's story is Disney Universe is an online game made for players to just hang out and recreate classic scenes, and that's kind of it. Oh, so it's just VR chat without horny people. Suddenly though, an evil AI known as Hex takes over and you have to stop him alongside a good AI in the same body and code as the evil AI? So is this just a Moon Knight situation where they're both the same person, kind of, but not really? I do love the loading screen hints though. You see, you'll have Vic say something nice to kind of hint you in the right direction. Kinda like an angel on your shoulder, and the reason I say this is because Hex is the devil on your shoulder. He'll just add something evil. That's a pretty funny meta thing to do. Before we go into the adventure though, let's talk more about the costumes. Yes, the main reason they did this is because it was easier to code and animate than a huge crossover with tons of playable Disney characters. With that said, they do look pretty cool here, even if the more cartoony characters all look like they have lockjaw. I mean, it's either that or the ghost facelift. What's your favourite Disney movie?
Yo.
What's up?
Each world you can explore has 5 costumes. You start with one of each, and they do that thing where a Disney cartoon crossover has live action reps for no reason with Pirates of the Caribbean. I fucking hate it when games do this. They also have an Alice in Wonderland world and Alice costumes, but they base it off of the live action remake and not the original. Did I mention I don't like Tim Burton, to be honest? But yeah, just seeing these live action characters here, even if it is just costumes of them, does feel weird. We also get 15 bonus costume slots for other characters like Robin Hood or Stitch. Guess how many are Tron Legacy characters? 4. Was this to make up for a lack of marketing that Legacy had? Because, yeah, that's fair, fuck Disney for that one. And you know what else? Just do a full world at that point, you know? Add Kevin Flynn and there you go, you got 5. And I know I said that I didn't like Pirates of the Caribbean or live action Alice in this game because they're live action in a cartoon crossover, but with Tron, both the Tron movies, well the first 2 at least, and of course, this game are all about characters going into a video game world, so that actually makes a lot of sense and is really cool. For an extra you know what, to keep it at 5 and have more variety within the costumes, if we added Kevin of course, remove Quora and remove Tron as well because he's barely in Legacy, and give us Daft Punk costumes. That would be so cool and random, and it would make the roster all the more unique, and on top of that, if this game promoted that the movie had Daft Punk in it, that probably would have had the movie do better in theatres. Also, people are going to play a game if there's Daft Punk costumes. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who downloaded Fortnite for that Daft Punk stuff. The more I think about it, the more baffling it genuinely is that Legacy didn't get a full world. Like, the levels would have been cool, even if they're a bit similar. But I mean, like I said, the game's already in a video game world, you may as well just do it. How did Disney, of all people, mess up free self-promotion in their own product? That's genuinely crazy. That's like Pac-Man being too full to eat anything else. After he played Pac-Man World 2 Repack. Okay, not all of these teasers are going to be subtle, okay? Mickey and Friends also should have been a full theme with its 4 characters and then adding a 5th like Daisy, who is a DLC for some reason, which you also can't get on Steam, but you can get on PS3. Okay? Oh, and guess how many Pixar characters are in these 15 bonus costumes? Out of all of Pixar, how many? 1. Just one. Just one. Literally just one. Just Nemo. That's it. I would comment on no Toy Story, but you know what? As far as gaming's concerned, Toy Story's had enough. I'm just glad my goat is in this game. Wait, hold on a minute. Why didn't they just have this game be all Disney and then make a Pixar universe as a sequel/spin-off game? I also do like the 4 different weapons each costume gets. You see, as you play, you can level up your characters, which get you stronger weapons. The way you level up is by finding stars that are usually in chests. I also really like how Sam Flynn's level 1 weapon is an identity disc with a whoosh effect you hold on to. That's an ingenious detail and I love it. The keys also for the chests aren't that far from them, so it's not really frustrating to deal with this. Oh, and look how pathetic this Monsters Inc. one is.
Here goes. Good luck in there.
As for the worlds, you start with pirates but can quickly choose the order you play the rest of the game in. Each world contains 3 levels that are usually all unique. I say usually as the last 2 Wall-E ones are a bit samey, but it's not a huge deal. With that said, Wall-E and Eve also should have just been extra costumes, and then we could have got a different second Pixar movie like a Ratatouille world. That would have been really cool. Oh, and going back to Lion King, it's not only the most boring world in the entire game, but 2 of the 3 levels are the Pride Rock. I mean, I know there's not a ton you can do with Lion King, but there was other options. The only major differences to the second Pride Rock is one has a boss as it's the last level, and that second one also has lava. Okay, I promise I will not use this clip again for the rest of the year. Not that I'm gonna upload another video this year, because this is the last video of the year, ha 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 ha.
I love it when I win.
Also unrelated, going back to Lion King again, it's a pretty good movie, 7 out of 10, but man is it overhyped. I do not see how it got to be so giant. You know, it's kind of like Life is Strange in that regard. No, okay, I'm not even making that joke. Lion King was at least good, where Life is Strange is just kind of trash. That and before, they both suck. You know what, when I do videos on both of them, I know the fans of those games are going to get mad at me, but I do not care. Those games are awful. One last thing I will say about the worlds though, I hate how when you can play any of them in order, there's one you have to do first, and the one they choose is fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it's not a bad world, but hear me out. This game gives us beloved cartoon universes to explore, and we start with the one live action one. God damn it, Disney! Netflix's One Piece can wait. I want to watch Love, Fatties and Robots. I will admit the pirate ship fights are also really cool. In fact, each world does a really good amount of work, for the most part, in making themselves stand out and feel unique. I mean, I wouldn't say any world or any level really feels like each other outside of the Lion King world, and that's pretty good. The Lion King one isn't even bad, it's just the worst by far. Each world also just has gameplay objectives and puzzles and all sorts of things that really do make you feel immersed in the world that you're currently playing through. You know, it really feels like the game is taking advantage of the IP, not just slapping them on. Yes, that even goes for the Lion King world. One example I really like that, I was going to say I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but I don't hear anyone talk about the game in general. There's this one puzzle in the Pirates of the Caribbean first level where you have to try to get this star without feeding it to an alligator, and if you fail it, that's it. You can't get it. And it's really fun. Alice has wacky puzzles and more original stuff like this pinball game here, and I like that it tries to be more original. That's cool, but it still feels like the original stuff would fit into the movie and its universe. I haven't watched the live action Alice, I'm going off of the cartoon one here, but still. I also like this part here where you're going through a big maze and you have to collect runes based off of the 4 playing card symbols. I also love how each world also gives all enemies different costumes based off of what world you're in. That's something they didn't need to do, it's such a cute touch. They had no reason to do it, but I'm glad they did. It also makes the costumes feel a lot more integral to the worlds. I also like this one coincidence that the bots themselves and their tech, such as walls or spike traps, look straight out of Tron Ares, and the fade effect when they die looks like a less brutal version of the fade from Tron Ares. Oh, and stay tuned for my 2025 movie ranking that comes out in January. Tron Ares is on there. Speaking of that pixelated fade, I like that the game's worlds and mechanics still often feel very video gamey. I mean, when the whole point is that you're in video game recreations of these Disney worlds, you may as well have fun with it, right? The way they do this is stuff like the menu here, where everything's made out of cubes and the world kind of rearranges and shapeshifts depending on what options you go for. There's also things like pixel effects, arcade machine activated minigames. There's also podiums at the end of the levels, which shouldn't really come up outside of single player because it's a multiplayer thing. I also love the fact that your health is under your feet, because when you see movies where characters go into video games, taking Jumanji for example, they need to be creative with how they display information. In Jumanji they have tattoos on their arms, in Disney Universe their health bar is right under their feet at all times. They could have just put a health bar on screen for each character, but I'm so glad they didn't. There's also the power-ups, which also feel quite video gamey and can help out. These are things like guns, insta-kill boxing gloves, we're gonna be golden. Hex also has his own intervention where in multiplayer only, so I couldn't get footage, I'm sorry, he will chase players down at certain points and curse them. And these can just be random effects that mess with you, and I don't see the point in these, they don't add anything. I guess at least they do show Hex to be a stronger and more active threat, so that's cool. But hey, at least after all worlds, we'll get an epic final battle to kill Hex once and for all. When I replayed this game after not playing for many years in 2023 or 2024, I can't remember, I thought it was weird I had no memory of the final boss. Like, how could I not remember a fight against Hex? Replaying it then, I did the final level, but that was the final Lion King level. The game itself hasn't got a final world or a final boss. I'm not kidding. Hex and Vic and Hex argue about how Hex has lost, and this evil magic cube guy who can spawn entire armies in seconds and manipulate the world around him gets mad, and instead of creating a huge final challenge, guess what he does? Create a final boss where he turns into a giant monster? Like we said, didn't happen. A full final world? Like we said, didn't happen. Hex just gives up out of completely nowhere and sings an OK Rock cover of It's a Small World, cut to credits. I mean, it's funny, sure, but it kinda sucks. It would be like if at the end of A New Hope, instead of going to blow up the Death Star and actually doing it, the rebellion just show up and Darth Vader's just like, we'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, and just disappeared. In fact, as cool as picking the world order is, the game lacks any major difficulty unfortunately, especially as when you die you just respawn with less money. Like, they could have added checkpoints or something, or I don't know, maybe the more levels you complete the more challenges come in, more enemy types, stuff like that. The game being like 4 to 5 hours long also just doesn't really help this case. Oh, and if you did the Monsters Inc. world last, you don't even get a final boss because that world doesn't have a final boss for itself. Say, after beating each level, there's so many costumes that still need unlocking. How do you get them? Maybe unique challenges like puzzle rooms or combat arenas? You just replay the levels again. I'm kinda 50-50 on this. On one hand, yes, many people may want to go back for the collectibles. On the other hand though, it's very lazy. I mean, it could be worse though. It could make you watch the live action Snow White or something, although I'm pretty sure that's a human health code violation. Oh, no wait, human rights violation, my bad. Sorry for the negative ending there, but despite its bad ending, this nostalgic treat is a real fun time and I definitely recommend picking up a controller and playing Disney Universe. Wait a minute, it's Christmas, I gotta end this nicely, happily. As this is Christmas, I have some gifting to do to you, my viewers, that's why I've been leaving hints to future videos, but on top of that, here's my thank you, to all of you. Since you've been on my side, whether it be a long time or just dropping in recently, hell, this could be your first time watching my content. In that case though, I thank you all, very much, it really does mean a lot to me. Can I get you something to drink? I mean, I got wine in the back, got some beer, got some water, if that's more your speed. Next though, I need to give a more specific thank you to someone who really does deserve it and has really inspired me this year. Scrolling through YouTube earlier this year, I remember seeing a channel called Media Bros. I didn't recognise them, yet I was oddly subbed to them, so maybe I watched anything and forgot, who knows. So I watched a good chunk of their videos. I watched a good few, and I gotta say, the stuff was amazing. It's just funny videos by its runner, Xander. Just Xander, there's only one. I mean, it's called Media Bros, but there's only one, so it should be called Media Bro. Or is it a Mario reference? Not only has his 2025 journey been great, essentially doubling his sub count, kind of like I did, but he's got way more, so it's more impressive. But I'll admit, with my own issues and struggling to stick to schedules, tech issues, I'd think of successful, happy YouTubers, but not the giant ones. I'd think him. He's just, I don't know, I guess it's more because he's a smaller content creator like myself, I can relate to him more than like Cadicarus or Scott the Woz or something. Seeing Xander go live or drop a new video is always exciting to me, and he's a guy who works incredibly hard. His upload schedule is insane too, like he uploads a lot, and I don't know how he does it. It's really impressive. Honest to God, you gotta sub to this guy. He is the media GOAT. Not a literal GOAT though. Unless he gets a GOAT OC, which is a sonar of himself, then I guess that would count. With that said, I'll see you in 2026, and for now I recommend diving deep into the holiday season and having a Merry Christmas.